it's a very common thing today that as soon as you register a domain name and as soon as you register a private limited company, the first thing you do is go and look for a person to give you money,
Yes.
right?
So that's
How-
a misconception. Today's youngsters think that I have an idea. If I don't raise money, if I don't go to a VC or an angel, my business will not start. Your previous generation, my previous generation, or you or me,
Hmm.
never had this inkling when we started our business. You started from scratch. I started from scratch. We learned it the hard way. Today we
Correct.
build businesses. I've never raised a single penny in my life. I created 4 businesses. But the thought was that money is never going to be a barrier. Let me create the product first. Let me find ways, even if I didn't have the money, to create the product somehow,
True.
and then people will come running behind you. I think this is a core learning which startups or the generation today who thinks that money is the barrier should get it out of their head, that if they start with that notion, they will not be able to make a good
That's
world
true.
class product, because it's money which is the primary focus in your head, not your product or service.
Hmm.
So that's how I
Focus on the
started.
product, right? The
Focus on
money
the
will
product.
follow.
Money will follow. And money is never a barrier. There are always people who are going to be supporting you. As we discussed, as Moin and Srinath yesterday said, the
Yeah.
Agnikul founders, that we wrote to 100 professors all over the country because we didn't have the means to
Hmm.
build a rocket, but the professors had access to these laboratories.
True.
We would find one of them and convince them, show them a vision, and maybe one will support. That's the exact thought a founder should have, that if I don't have money, let me find somebody who believes my vision and takes a leap of faith and
Correct.
supports me. He benefits, I benefit, and in the process, I create something which is world class.
I mean, just because you don't have money doesn't mean you don't have resources,
Exactly.
right?
There's always somebody, people have tons of money today. People are actually looking at HNI. India has a lot of millions of HNIs and ultra HNIs who are looking for an avenue to invest their money, which will give them more than the 7% that they get in a bank
True.
FD. They have invested in real estate, they have invested in gold, silver, they have invested in FDs, they have invested in mutual fund, they have invested in stock market, they have a comfortable lifestyle. What are they going to do with the spare cash, which is going to earn them 6.5 or 7%,
And not exciting.
and not exciting? If they give to a fund manager, it comes with the standard disclaimer.
Yeah, correct.
What are they going to do? Everybody is looking for that slight bit of edge which will give them that extra return over and above the 7% which IFD gives them. I think you just need to go find out the right guy who's going to believe in you and support you. It's not that everybody needs 100 crores or a 10 crore check to start with. You can start with a maybe 5 lakh check.
Hmm.
And as in our world, the first fund always comes from the 3 F's: friends, families, and fools. And then we started marketing. Marketing in the sense without money. So money was always a barrier. We did organic marketing. To learn today, digital media strategies cost from a lakh of rupees to a few crores. I learned digital marketing on my own and I started doing SEO. And for 15 years on Google, for the keyword competitive MBA exam papers, eSiksha was on number one without spending a single penny.
Wow.
Competitive MBA exam papers or
That
MBA
was
exam
all
papers.
you and your SEO skills.
Yeah.
Wow. And you learned how are you teaching yourself all of these things?
Google and books, and learn from people who were doing it in the Western world. Yeah, just what works, what not works today. What people call testing and rigorous testing, and all forms of testing. I never knew those terms. The only thing which I had with me was hard work.
And so, what was the peak? Because eShiksha, I think now, like you said, it's not a core business anymore.
Yes.
But what was there like a peak when you're like, listen, I can probably raise funding for this?
So within a year, we had 1 million users.
Million users.
1 million users.
In 2000, you're talking about.
In 1999, 2000, within a year, we had 1 million users, 10 lakh users, with zero marketing spend, zero sales, and zero marketing. Not sales, sorry, zero marketing. Sales we were getting, students were buying. The typical MBA course during that time used to cost anything from 10,000 to 50,000. And here was a platform which was giving you unlimited test papers for 700 for a year.
Wow.
And
Incredible.
that's where I got my first revenue stream, which was an accident. Is one of the largest online universities in London, and US. They had off-site campuses in US and the primary headquarters in London. And London was opening up for Indian students. And the only way they wanted to target, because e-Shiksha was primarily 99.99% for the student community,
Right.
they contacted us out of the blue and they said, for every 15 days of advertising, we'll give you £1,000
So they advertised on you.
on e-Shiksha. And then next step, they said, if you send out mailers for us, we'll give you another £1,000.
Incredible.
And in 2000, £1,000 was a good chunk of money. So
Yeah.
in the year 2000, every month we were making, and then the other advertisers started coming in. We were making 10 lakhs, and I was barely, I think, 19 or 20. And that sum of money was a life-changing amount. 10 lakhs used to be a huge amount back in
Absolutely.
2000.
Wow. 10 lakhs today would be like over a crore.
Yes.
And so you became profitable, I'm guessing.
Yes, we were profitable from day one because we had nothing to lose. We
Correct.
started with zero. You can't go negative.
And then what about and your partners that you had, the developers you had brought on board?
So whenever the revenues started flowing in, the first thing I did was that I gave them the money which was for the development, and then I, out of my free will, although we never worked with the agreement, so month after month till the time they were with me, I gave them a certain percentage of whatever money I was generating, because they stood by me when I had zero money. So I think that taught me my second lesson, that if people have treated you well, be fair to people. Paper contracts are not everything.
Yeah.
If you do good, good comes back to you. And till the point that they were with me without any contract, I kept on giving them a certain percentage of revenues that was generated every month.
And so why didn't you raise money for e-Shiksha?
I didn't know that such a market existed.
Acha.
So maybe it could be that because I was getting that flow of money, and then by the time we realized that we can actually raise money and make it big, the .com bust happened.
Acha.
2003.
Got it.
And slowly by slowly, the UK and the Indian universities, the London universities, they started coming to India for these education fairs and all. That's when the advertising started drying up, because the bigger players were coming in the market. It became a constraint, and then after a point in time, e-Shiksha became static.
Got it.
And that's when we thought that maybe it's time to start another business.
Acha.
And that's when the next chapter started.